On today's episode of Wrong Side, Joe Schoen is the wrong sider of the year as Saquon wins a Super Bowl in his first year with Philadelphia. We recap the Waste Management Phoenix Open as Thomas Dietrich brings home the cup. Daniele Gelin joins studio, OSU national championship dancer, talking about her background in dance, winning a national championship, and the PJ life from their national championship in Florida to the football natty in Georgia. Clutch moment of the week brought to you by Shore Metals and Outside the Line. In a world full of champions, we find ourselves on the wrong side.
Time to time, but maybe it's time, baby, it's time, no time.
Welcome back, listeners. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. Today is February 12th, and the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. We got Jake here in studio, Mike burning the candle at both ends back at work. So we're going to recap the game for you, talk about what we did, the shocking game that was, in my opinion, kind of a Rose Bowl repeat from the Buckeyes and Oregon matchup. 40-22 Eagles final score, and we'll dive right into it. So, Jake, you definitely had a better time than me. I was just in the burbs, went to a friend's house, and was in bed by 10. So what'd you do for the game? Was it a big party day in Columbus? And how'd you guys kind of roll it?
Honestly, it was kind of a calm day to start. Obviously, came home to get ready, but also had to film the first half of this episode. So had to do that first. And then I went over to my girlfriend's apartment with some of our friends, kind of just hung out there, watched the game. We put out a nice spread, good spread of food, nice variation. Had the sweets, had the savory, had it all. Definitely indulged a little too much, so had to get back on the diet today, but it was good ass time.
Good. The diet, I got to work that in right now because the way that my stomach is behaving, we're recording this Monday night for the listeners. It's in a bad way right now. I am 90% cheese and buffalo chicken dip right now, and
for sure.
I saw a funny tweet. Luckily, I was not in the office today, so got to take it a little bit easy at work on Monday. But pray for the office toilets on the day after the Super Bowl. So shout out, wrong side, the office toilets on the Monday after the Super Bowl. But yeah, get the good spread out. The people get to kind of show off what they're able to cook. You see your friend who lives off of Pop-Tarts and Chipotle all week, kind of comes together and makes a mean buffalo chicken dip. So Super Bowl Sunday is always a good time. we'll get into the game now. We'll talk commercials. We'll talk halftime show. We'll go through the whole thing. But obviously, first and foremost, the game, which started off with the Virginia McCaskey tribute. I'm not sure if we mentioned that she had passed away on the last episode, but Virginia McCaskey, owner of the Chicago Bears, passes away at 102. I'm seeing it as a good omen. We bring in Ben Johnson. We've hired a bunch of other good coaches. Her son is the one, he's the chairman, George McCaskey. He's the one with that stupid mustache you see on all of the articles roasting our team. But now that he's got the boys rolling, we brought in some good coaches. She finally was able to rest. Like Tony Stark at the end of Avengers Endgame, now you can finally rest. So Virginia McCaskey, RIP, granddaughter of George Halas, the inventor of football. Bears looking good for the Bears. Another thing that was looking good for the Bears, the Trubisky pick looked better and better as this game went on. I mean, Mahomes, I'm not sure if you move off him. I'm not sure if you can cut him at this point, but that may have been the worst game that I have seen him play in his entire career. What did you think of what happened?
I would say I was definitely stunned, for sure. I was 100% stunned on the performance he put out there. I think that the three-peat talk was too much in the media, and he may have read too much into it, possibly. I think that he did not play good at all. The O-line literally collapsed, I think, every other play. I think they sacked him 5 or 6 times.
At least 6. Something 6 was the last I saw, but there was I think 11 hits.
6 might have been. Yeah, he had no time in that pocket. Didn't really look at his spread offense very well, and those little dunk downs to Travis didn't really work very well. The running backs were non-existent at all. They couldn't get the run game going at all. And what I thought was great and one of my favorite moments of the game was, I think, or at least everybody in America's, was the Cooper DeJean pick 6. How could you not? I mean, how could you write it any better? Second year in the NFL?
First, he's a rookie.
Oh, rookie. I'm sorry. Rookie in the NFL. On his birthday, pick 6. So pick 22 years old. You can't write it better than that.
Turns 22 years old, the rookie out of Iowa, one of the exciting whites in the NFL. Cooper DeJean takes it back on his birthday. And right side, a few of my friends took Cooper DeJean anytime touchdown. Cooper DeJean is out of Iowa, and I got a lot of friends that went to Iowa, so they're big fans. And a couple even had Super Bowl MVP. So we were hoping for maybe another interception or a forced fumble, something along the lines to shore it up for Cooper DeJean. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but still an electric play nonetheless. For Mahomes, I can't figure it out because you see, obviously he hasn't lost much in his career, but you go back to another kind of similar game, the Super Bowl against Brady and the Bucs, where they were also able to get a ton of pressure with 4. He was running around the whole time. There's that throw of him where he's like 2 inches off the ground, completely horizontal, and it ended up hitting one of his own receivers in the face. That was from the previous Super Bowl. This time, not only was the O-line bad, he was bad. I thought he was better in the Bucs game and at least able to really try and force things to happen. Again, they lost that game, but 2 picks on back-to-back throws. I'm not sure if that's the first time he's thrown interceptions on consecutive throws, but he was blind out there. He led the team in rushing too. Yeah, he looked awful. I expected him to run the ball a lot more. He ended up with 4 carries for 25 yards, and that was the leading rusher on the team. I mean, I know you're down so much, you can't necessarily hammer Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt the whole time, but 0 run game. And I don't know if it was I think a bad Andy Reid game too. Even Spagnuolo, they were able to wrap up Saquon, but not a lot of those exotic blitz packages getting home. Eagles took him to.
There was no. We'll say this: there was no Spags masterclass in this Super Bowl at all. It was
not
non-existent.
At all. There was one. The Jalen Hurts interception was the one blitz that actually got home, and there's kind of a guy in his face. Right, and they didn't score. So it just seemed rigged. Maybe we say rigged because of how bad it looked.
Could it be rigged in the sense of the game was on Fox and there was a certain someone who was calling the game?
Dude, Tom Brady was probably having the time of his life up there. It was
for sure
a section of time in the second half where he was barely talking. So one of the other sports media people that I was watching said he was probably just in the corner giggling the whole time.
Oh, for sure.
He was the real winner of the day.
He was definitely the real winner because he knew that if Pat won that game, then the conversation would start to be the conversation would have to be had that he was close into that GOAT conversation. But now it doesn't matter right now. I mean, not discrediting Pat. I mean, he's got 3 rings.
Three rings. Yep.
3 rings. Would have been his 4th, but didn't. Thank God. So sorry, Dean. You're gonna have to go sulk for the whole off season. But I think he looked horrible. The whole team kind of looked awful. Andy Reid, it looked like they didn't look ready, personally,
No.
to me. I think they looked really flat. Didn't look like they had much energy. But yeah, I think that was bad. I think the most energized person on that team was the punter, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
he got the most action out there. But another thing that I thought was crazy. I think it was second quarter, a little before halftime. They showed that Chiefs sideline, and it was the bench, the guys resting between plays, and they looked flat. They looked deflated. They thought they already knew the game was over before halftime had even happened. So I think that, I mean, Jalen Hurts, much deserved. He played his ass off, played very well. And especially going from, and I saw a thing today, it was a great tweet. It was a video of somebody asking him, how does it feel to finally be on the top of the mountaintop after getting taken out in that national championship in college at Alabama, and Tua taking your spot, then transferring and losing to Pat the first time, and then finally getting onto the mountaintop. And he said it's a sweet feeling that his hard work has definitely paid off, and that he definitely wants to go get another one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's a polarizing figure. I've been super in on him. I've been super out on him. In his 2 Super Bowls against the Chiefs, obviously you're going head-to-head against Pat Mahomes, but you're not on the field at the same time. You're going against Spagnuolo, who is a wizard, one of the best to ever do it. In the first Super Bowl, he was 27 for 38, 304 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 15 carries, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, and a fumble. It was pretty much a game-breaking fumble back 2 years ago, but 374 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 turnover. Played his ass off the first time. Second time, this last game, 17 for 22, 221, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 11 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. So 293 total yards and still 1 turnover, but he shows up in the big moments. You can't deny it.
He looked great. You can't at all. And one stat that I did want to share that I thought was very cool is he's the first Super Bowl champion to have a all-female agency team. I think that's awesome. Changing the game. Really cool for him and really cool for his agency to do that. Also, another stat I have from the game, Devontae Smith, first ever player out of Alabama to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I thought that was a very strange stat. I didn't think that he was the only one. For some reason, I thought Julio had scored.
You assume?
Honestly, I would assume, but he only had 87 yards in that game against Brady.
Wow.
So that was an interesting stat that I thought also. And then another stat, not really a stat, but kind of shout out him. Shout out Paris Campbell, Buckeye.
Yep.
Wins a ring. So Buckeyes keep winning. In all levels. But yeah, I think the game, I mean, as a football fan, you're always interested in the Super Bowl, no matter if your team's in it or not. But I became kind of like disinterested come halftime. I mean, It was over. It was over at halftime. I kind of got
24
bored.
zip at half. I forget when they turned the ball over, but I don't think it was 24-3 early. Maybe the Chiefs had a field goal on the opening drive of the second half, but never once did we really make it a conversation.
Right.
Even like 24-14 would have been like, oh, it's a 10-point game. Like, what can we see here? But
right.
It was
I think it was on the late touchdown, or maybe it was whatever the touchdown was when Pat threw when they scored and he went for 2. It was a total. Chris Paul cuts the lead to 43.
Yeah.
Like it was over. They were deflated. The game was over. I think that they weren't ready to go. I think the Chiefs, it's uncertain what they're really going to look like next year, I think. Will Travis Kelce still be on that team? Who knows? Could retire. Could maybe want to try something new, different team. But yeah, I think there's gonna have to be some reflection in that Chiefs front office to see what they're gonna do and how to get back to the mountaintop next year.
Yeah, I mean, Travis had a okay year. I think he was still a very viable fantasy tight end, but I mean, he had one catch on his first three targets. The other two were just pretty simple curl routes. He was definitely covered, but balls that he usually catches, and especially in the Super Bowl moments, he definitely shows up in typically. I'm looking at his
Right.
contract right now. Unrestricted free agent. I'm not sure if actually this is the beginning of the 2026 season or like the 2027 season. So
Right.
maybe one more year under contract. But between Kelsey at 33, 34, Andy Reid and Spagnola both getting up there. The receiver core always questionable with the Chiefs, but if you go down the list, they definitely have some names. I don't know if they're the most talented people.
Yeah, you
Aging
got
DeAndre
Juju.
Hopkins, Juju, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice. Who knows what's going to happen with that guy?
Yeah, who knows?
They go from practically being crowned three-peat champions to what now? So I think it's going to be a really interesting
Right.
offseason and a long offseason for them. Um, Obviously, they're still a great team. I think, they have one loss in the regular season and obviously a loss in the Super
Right.
Bowl. So not like they have any shortage of talent or anything, but this one's got a sting for them. So we'll kind of see what they end up doing in this offseason and moving on. The Eagles, though, I'm a little upset at the media. As the media, you got to lead from the front. We are the media, and we're
For
going to lead
sure.
from the
We
front.
are.
They're
We are.
they're already talking about the Eagles dynasty. Two appearances in 3 years and
Too
one
early.
win. Too
I think
early
too
for a
early.
dynasty. And I
I
love
think
the
you give
Birds,
me.
don't get me wrong, but
I know that's your second team, so
they are my
I
second team.
see. I can see where you're coming from there, but I think that no dynasty. You can't talk about that yet. I mean, they got to start. Um, I think maybe you get one more under your belt, then we can start talking. I mean, this is their second title of all time,
Yeah.
so I don't really. You can't really talk dynasty. I mean, are you going to talk dynasty because they won, what was it, 7 years ago with Foles, and then now they
Right.
win with Jalen, and then if they win one more, is that a dynasty? I don't think that's a dynasty, personally, to me.
I don't either. So yeah, that kind of sucked. My last point on the game, I don't like when backups take the final knee in big games.
Yeah, Kenny
Like
Pickett.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett taking the final knee. I think that was. I mean, yes, I understand you're killing them, so I think that it's understandable you want him to get his snap or whatever. But I think Jalen should at least taken that knee, or even like let's Saquon take the final knee. That would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
Oh,
I know,
also,
like,
I have one other
hmm?
final note on the game. Jake Elliott was absolute butter. He was
Yeah,
money from every spot.
he was. I had Butker to hit 2 field goals. I don't even know if, or I think he hit one. I think I hit one leg on one parlay the
Mm,
whole day. It was a tough day.
that's brutal. I won
Yeah,
the first bet of the day. I won tails right away.
big time, big time.
Rest of the day, hit or miss. Didn't really go as way I wanted, but you can't worry about that. The Chiefs lost, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Also, the national championship, the line on DraftKings was 120 seconds and a half, and they had to know
Mm,
what that line was because it was right on 2 minutes. It took practically the entire first quarter for Twitter and the sports books to come to a consensus on where it ended up. We had the
I saw
stopwatches
that.
going in the living room, and it was a close one. So they were definitely looking at the line. Vegas has influence everywhere. You can't deny it.
No, not at all. Yeah, definitely. I think. Okay, so halftime show thoughts.
Halftime show. So I was very excited for the halftime show. Obviously, we've all been following the Drake and Kendrick beef, the lawsuits, the everything, and I was mildly disappointed. I think the sound mixing quality, just like the ability to understand the words he was saying,
Yeah,
aside from the
it was.
fact that he goes fast and obviously
He
has
goes very
explicit lyrics.
fast.
Yeah, the production quality to get that sound through the broadcast, I thought was kind of mid.
Wasn't
The
great. Wasn't great.
Yeah, so obviously, like my mom, my grandma, like everyone on Facebook is like, "What is this? Who is this guy?" Like that was kind of
Right, of
funny,
course.
but Samuel L. Jackson was cool, and I think the whole
That was
storytelling
cool.
aspect was nice.
Serena.
But
Serena
it
was
was
out
all
there
right.
dancing.
I was shocked to see that. I did not when I saw that. I was we at first were all like, why'd they show this random person? And then we're like, oh, like this makes sense. But it definitely wasn't Serena Williams, right? Like that didn't really look like her. And then it was actually her. So
Right.
more like all-time hatership by Kendrick. But I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, I'd say. Like it was okay.
I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't my least favorite. So, I mean, the set was cool. I liked the little video game style. That was cool, like a PlayStation controller.
Mhm.
I thought that was cool. The lights were cool. Song choices were good. I thought, he still went out and sang the song that we all thought he was going to. Looked right at the camera.
He just won a Grammy for that a week ago. There's no way he was. I don't know. I don't care how many lawsuits he was under. There is no way in the world he was not going to sing that song.
I know, exactly. But, I mean, it was fine. It wasn't, I mean, who would be your pick for next year's halftime show?
It's a good question.
It's in San Francisco.
I think like Bruno Mars is a perfect Super Bowl halftime show. I think
he's done it before. He's done it before.
Him, Beyonce. I think Coldplay was technically the headliner for that Super Bowl, but most people talk about Bruno Mars and then Beyonce.
Right.
I think he's a great performer. He's got a good balance of songs that like the kids and songs that adults
will he be
like,
out of his debt by then, you think? If he is,
it's a good question. And if he's releasing songs with Sexy Red now, maybe they're taking him off the list for the Super Bowl halftime show.
They might. I think they might.
Yeah, so I think he'd be a good option. A lot of my friends are saying like they're going to swing back the other way now, and there's going to be a white country star. Most people are talking Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs. I know Morgan Wallen's a little problematic too, but I think there's going to be. I don't think it's going to be another rapper next year.
I'd be okay with Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs. That'd be fun.
Yeah, a country setup would be good. I don't know if that's the place for. I don't know if San Francisco is the place for that. Like maybe if it was in like Jerry World or something like that'd be a good time
tennis,
for it.
Like where the Titans play or something like that.
San Francisco, I can't think of. I know there's a good amount of rappers who are from San Francisco Bay Area, but I don't know.
Do the Train? They got the song San Francisco.
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, they're pretty. Are they old they're definitely old at this point.
They're getting older. Right? They're getting older. Yeah.
Still would be a banger. Hey Soul Sister grew up on that stuff.
Hey Soul Sister. Come on, 50 Ways to Say Goodbye. Come on, that'd be pretty good halftime show. I would enjoy that at least.
I would enjoy that too. What were your favorite commercials? Any that stuck out to you? I kind of got disinterested by the second half.
I liked the commercials where they were like combining all the commercials from the past. You had like the Puppy Monkey Baby and like the Wiener Dogs and the Kool-Aid Man. That was a good one. I was a big fan of that one. Mm-hmm. The On Cloud commercial with Roger Federer and Elmo. That was a good one. That was a fave of mine. Those are really the only two that kind of really fully stuck out to me. Oh, and I guess I enjoyed watching the trailer for Thunderbolts, the Marvel movie that's coming out.
That was good. I didn't know they were coming out with that, and usually that was like more promotional stuff than I've seen for most of the Marvel movies in the last couple of years, so it looks intriguing. Right. I did like that one. I had the Bud Light commercial with Post Malone and Shane Gillis. Gotta love it.
That was really good. That was a good one too. I forgot about that one.
It released earlier in the week, so I don't know if it really counts. I hate how they do that now. I know we talked about that last week, but that was a good one.
So bad. Super tone deaf.
Yeah, very tone deaf. McConaughey Uber Eats also was out early, but got the Bears going now. A lot of Bears showing.
Shout out to Bears.
Yeah, so maybe that's the NFL dropping our little seedlings that the Bears are next up. I'm going to believe that for the entire offseason and see where it goes. I don't
think that's what it is, but sure, we can believe it.
We'll see. And then the Mick Ultra pickleball commercial with Willem Dafoe. Mick Ultra is the perfect pickleball beer. It was a very good pairing. They were on like a beach. It was the mom from Schitt's Creek too, and Willem Dafoe, and they were slamming Mick Ultras. I don't know if I think of like
Michelob Ultra as like a pickleball beer. I think of it more like as a high noon type of drink. Okay. I don't know. It's just my opinion.
I'm not a big pickleballer, so maybe I'm tone deaf. But I'm like,
you're not a pickler. You should get into it. It's a good time.
Oh, all racket. I'm out on all racket sports. It's a creed that I stick to very strictly. Tennis, badminton,
squash,
pickleball, squash. Wouldn't touch it. Not a racket sport guy.
Oh, all right. That's good to know. But you pickled? Did you not pickle when you were in California?
No, we never pickled.
Oh, didn't pickle. Oh,
No. I think we
all right.
briefly talked about it one time. I wasn't the one who shut it down, by the way, but
Hmm.
we did not pickle when we were in
Did
California.
not pickle. I gotcha. Um,
Hmm.
super. I mean, it's too far to look ahead. Super Bowl two prediction, two teams is going to be next year. Not based off the logo.
Fuck. The logo thing had Bills and Bears. I was gonna say the Bills anyways. Besides that, just because I think the Chiefs are wounded. Someone in the AFC is gonna capitalize. I'm going with Bengals out of the AFC. I think they loaded up unless Joe Burrow's gone. This prediction doesn't count. Um, Bengals out of the
He's not going to be
AFC.
on.
I hate everything. NFC. Niners might make
Bengals
it back.
Eagles.
Niners are gonna make a push,
Bengals
man.
Eagles.
Bengals Niners.
That's my prediction. Bengals Eagles.
If the Birds go back to back, that bad day to be the city of Philadelphia again. There was one of the memes where it was like the illusion of free choice.
Oh my
It
gosh!
was
Yeah.
like Chiefs win, Eagles win, and either way, the crime rate in Philadelphia goes up. Also,
Right.
I can't think of two more annoying fan bases to win championships in close proximity to each other than the Buckeyes and the Philadelphia Eagles.
The
So
Eagles. Yep.
the public is pissed about it, but NFL season's over. I thought it was kind of a mid-year, a lot of injuries. I mean, a blowout Super
A lot of
Bowl.
injuries.
We'll see what happens. Obviously, the Bears season did not go to the 12-5 season that I had predicted, but we're building something here. So, any
I will
final
say,
thoughts
though,
as we close out the NFL year?
yes. One final thought. I posted an article before the season started on the Wrong Side website. You can go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Wrongsidetakes.com.
Thanks.
And I was pretty close to my prediction of the Seahawks. I said 9-8. We went 10-7, and we missed the playoffs. And I said we were going to miss the playoffs in my article. So I think pretty good ball knowledge by me.
Respect. Always, if you go 500, you're always picking 50-50, so I respect it.
Excited for pick 18. Excited for pick 18.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into draft classes. I hope we only take O linemen for the Bears, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Sports are looking weird now. Weekends are a lot more free. I'm still thinking about the Buckeyes, probably way too much at this point. Matt Patricia reported for the DC job, but we won't get into that right now. Trying to focus on other sports. Golf is right around the corner. I know you are obviously in the Midwest at OSU. Southern California golf, unfortunately, you are missing out on for the time being. But the golf itch is coming back up. The Waste Management, one of the most fun tournaments of the year. It wrapped up this weekend. Thomas Detry, first Belgium winner of the tournament, as well as his first tour win. I know you watched a lot of it. You're a big golf guy.
I did watch.
What were your thoughts? How did the tournament go? Hole 16. We had one hole in one on Friday.
Hole 16.
Take us through your recap.
I'll give you my little recap for the tournament as a whole. Number one, it is the fans tournament. One of my favorites of the year would be, if I was given the opportunity to play the course, that would be one of the courses I would choose to play because it's just so fun and the atmosphere is so great. But diving into it a little more, Thomas Detry from Belgium dominates the field at the Waste Management. Shot 24 under on the weekend. He takes home $1.6 million and 500 FedEx points towards the cup. So he's in second currently in the FedEx rankings. For those of you who don't know what the FedEx rankings are, those are the points allocated for tour events that you get based off your placing. And the more points you allocate, then the more the opportunity you will get to play in the FedEx Cup, which is a 3-part tournament.
Who's leading right now?
He is from Austria. He actually went to the University of Georgia. I will tell you.
Is it Auberg?
Actually, it is not Auberg. It is FedEx Cup standings is Sepp Straka from Austria. Went to the University of Georgia.
How is he winning? There's no golf has been played. I guess golf has been played, but
he won the American Express in La Quinta in California.
Hell yeah!
So he is leading. But Thomas Detry, domination. I don't know if the fans saw, but on 16, he was literally like one turn over away from a hole-in-one on 16 in that final round. But, I mean, it was a hell of a weekend for him. Gets his tour membership exemption extended to 2027, and he has already qualified for the PGA Championship and the Masters. So that's huge
Just
for
off
him.
this win?
No, he had already qualified for it last year, but just another cherry on top of for him. I think big things are coming from him. He's young, not really young guy, but more of an up and coming golfer. Kind of been itching away at the pack. 32 years old, but still pretty young for golf if you think about it. I think that it was nice to see somebody else win for a change, especially this tournament. Usually this tournament isn't usually a big winner. It's usually a guy who you haven't heard from in a while, or at least haven't heard the name of. So it's cool to see him win. Spieth finishing fourth, and Justin Thomas falling short. Both of them falling short of the mountaintop. Justin Thomas finishing sixth. He still can't put it all together. Still can't really win a tournament. It's sad. He's got the tools. He just can't figure it out lately. And something
I don't know
also
how
want
old
to touch
he
on.
is, but he's probably
He's
getting
getting old.
kind of old.
He's getting
right
old,
now.
yeah. He's got to be 35, 33.
Yeah.
Um,
Fact check.
but yeah,
31,
check.
younger than
31,
Dietrich.
I was wrong.
I know he's been on the tour for a long time. The beauty of
Yeah.
golf, like obviously you can be
You can
hot
play
at
forever.
19 or you can be hot at 30. So
right.
that's an interesting part of it. And then the waste management specifically, golf is obviously known as kind of a stuffy sport. And I know a lot of our listeners are big golf people, but trying to bring it down to layman's terms, we're intro golf fans here, some of us. But the waste management specifically, you see it's a different kind of pressure. Golf is known to be kind of stuffy. Everyone's silent. You have like complete control over the environment. There's not a lot to deal with. Then you go to hole 16 at the waste management.
Loudest
you got people
tournament
ripping their shirts off.
of the year.
Loudest tournament of the year. I think it's always interesting to see who, especially of like the A-list golfers that you would think of, who is able to kind of face that head on and still be able to play their game, or who kind of crumbles, especially if you have a bad start to the round. You get to hole 16, all you want to do is get to the clubhouse and you got people yelling at you and beers flying everywhere. It could throw off your whole weekend. So the waste management.
Emilio Grillo, hole-in-one on 16 during Friday's round. That guy definitely didn't feel the pressure at all. Sunk it. Didn't get a bounce. He dunked it from the tee box.
That was
Dunked it from
electric.
the tee box. The whole crowd went wild.
I think he was damn close to getting one Saturday too.
Yeah,
someone
really
else
close
was
on Saturday too. There was a couple guys that were pretty close, but he was the best one on Friday. Something that I also love about this tournament is it's really all for the fans, and you see some great costumes. I saw there was one gigantic group of people all dressed like Max Homa. They were all dressed like Max Homa in the Let Him Cook hat, and they all had the Lululemon polo on. Thought that was great. So I think that was a great costume for some of the people. And the thing about this tournament is people get hammered.
Oh yeah.
They get so hammered at this tournament. So I think, it was a disaster last year.
Yeah, I think they had to stop. I don't know if it was just for the day they stopped selling booze or if it was for the whole weekend, but alcohol sales were suspended last year. I know players were pissed. I found a couple articles kind of comparing them. 2024, 54 attendees were arrested, 3 times more than ever before. A lot of rain, so bad weather forced hills to be just mudslides. So dry areas were then overcrowded, which caused more problems. People were chirping the players. Players were not happy in 2024. This year was perfect. They brought out, I assume it was the CEO of Waste Management. It was some head honcho from over there. And apparently he's got to deal with the devil. He said his wife calls him the weatherman because wherever they go, they could go to the Bahamas in hurricane season and he'll bring the good weather. So he must not have been there last year. Shows up this year. They made a lot of changes. They added a few more entrances, a few more bridges to kind of expand the area and kind of limit overcrowding and certain choke points for the area. They did raise the price of tickets, which is a common theme we're seeing from even college football games all the way into golf. So tournament doesn't release attendance, but that from reports, definitely led to a little bit lower attendance this year. If you watch the broadcast, you really couldn't tell a difference. It was still packed and definitely still rowdy, but a couple good changes. It seems like the players and the fans enjoyed to make it a little bit more chill of a time. You still want to get rowdy, but you don't want to feel like you're on the beaches of Normandy out there, which is kind of what it seemed like last year.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I have a buddy, he went last year and he said it was crazy, and another friend went this year. He was on hole 18 in a private cabana, and he said it was just an unreal experience. Some of the most fun he's ever had. Just a surreal experience, especially this type of tournament. He goes to school at Arizona State, so it was just down the street for him. So he said it was just a great time. Also, I just wanted to touch on Scotty Scheffler, just an abysmal weekend, finishing 23rd. He was he was climbing his way back. He was tied for third at one point and then just dropped off, and it got ugly. It got ugly, but I'm not going to count him out, obviously. The guy won a bunch of tournaments last year. We haven't even entered major season yet, so I'm not worried for him and his performance that he's going to put on. I know it's coming. We got the Genesis Open coming up this weekend at Torrey Pines. Hideki Matsuyama won it last year. I don't know. We'll see who wins that one. Joey, pick for who's going to win the Genesis. Shot in the dark. I don't know many golfers, but still.
Rory's getting it done this year. He already has a win this year, I believe.
Okay.
And he's going to keep stacking them. It's another non-major, so I'm comfortable picking Rory as a winner since it's not a major. So that's my pick. What about you?
I'm going to pick the boy Max Homa winning the Genesis.
Let's do it. The homosexuals will be out in full force as they were in the Waste Management. One more thing on Scotty. Usually a pretty calm guy, very quiet, doesn't seem to get too high or too low. Was beating the hell out of his bag late into the weekend.
Yeah, he was pissed.
I think he was pissed. It seems I just looked it up, a lot of articles talking about it. I know once you are the champion with the year he had last year, you're going to be under a lot of eyes, but not a good start to the year. I know we're barely into it yet, but not a good start for Scotty. Overall this year, I think Rory has a win already. It's Scotty with an uncharacteristic start. Who overall are you keeping an eye on this year?
I don't know. There's too many guys to think of, but I'm going to say, I'll give you my pick right now. Hold on. I'm going to say he's just a fun one to watch because he's a little bit newer in the field. I like Jake Knapp. Newer-ish to the field, but also because he's a California guy. I'm rooting for him. From Costa Mesa, not too far from me. So I'm rooting for him.
Respect. Got to root for the hometown guy. I know I lost all my futures in the NFL, and those are maybe like 500, 600, 700 odds. And golf every weekend is plus 1,000, plus 9,000. Dietrich this week was plus 9,000 heading into the tournament, I think. So I don't usually bet on golf, but it's a great sport to watch, especially if you're trying to get better. The weather is turning just a little bit in Chicago. It is currently a balmy, where'd it go? Weather's gone. Currently 27 degrees, so we're in the middle of a heat wave in Chicago. So the golf itch is coming up.
30 in Columbus. So
yeah, man. It's supposed to be a lot of snow in Chicago this week, but I'll be thinking about it. I'm heading to New Orleans this weekend. Unfortunately, not golfing, but hopefully can get some good Super Bowl wrap up and some warm weather at the very least. So I'm excited about that.
And maybe some beignets.
Maybe. No beads though. We're doing no beads.
No beads, but beignets.
All right, we'll do it. All right, Jake, who are you and Michael interviewing this week?
We are interviewing Ohio State national champion Daniele Gelin.
All right, Daniele Gelin. We will kick it to Jake and Michael in the studio with Danielle now.
Now joining us in the studio, we have OSU two-time national champion dancer Daniele Gelin. Danielle from Melbourne, Florida, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So happy you guys are here. Danielle actually is a friend of Jake's. They work in a Nike Move project together on Ohio State campus. So last week Ruby was on, so we got to learn about her story. This week we're going to learn about Danielle's. Nike Move brought us a lot of great people. We have Will Jones also here if he's listening, another good one. So very cool opportunity on campus. I know that's how you and Jake met. You guys have been hooked up with some gear. How's that been going?
It's amazing. I think I've worn at least every single piece like 3 times already. The
Oh
shoes
yeah.
are insane, and, like, everyone keeps asking me, like, "Oh my gosh, where'd you get all this stuff?" And I'm like, "My job." Like, it's really cool.
The
Yeah.
people don't know that last year for the Nike Project Move, there's a photo shoot that's done every year with all the employees. And Danny was actually the face of the photo shoot, and her picture of her doing the
Oh,
yoga was put on the trailer that we move around campus.
Yeah.
oh, very cool. Face of the program. Face of the
Yeah.
program then.
Yeah.
Very
Something
cool.
like
I did not know that. Something light. Something light.
that.
Uh I did not know that. That's very cool. Yeah, the Jake was telling us about it, Joey and I and my parents, and he was showing us all this gear he got, and I'm like, this I was like, I don't even remember Will coming home with this much gear. So their budget really must have increased over the years because he did like the first one ever, like my sophomore year. So very cool. But we're here to talk about you, learn a little about yourself. Tell us about yourself, how you got to OSU. You know, you're obviously Jake and I as well, not from Ohio. You're yourself not from Ohio.
Mhm.
Was it a situation where you liked the dance and this was the offer you got and you just took what you got, or was there a connection to Ohio? How did you get to this point in time?
Yeah. So basically I danced my whole life. And obviously I grew up in Florida, so dance isn't like huge where I live per se, but like if you go down to Miami or like
Sure.
Orlando, like it's pretty big. They have amazing programs there. And my program was very good, like to be very clear. There just wasn't like much around us. So I came from you would call it like, it's called All Star, and that's like I guess like sector of dance that I am from.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
familiar. Yes.
yeah, so there's like studio dance and there's all star dance. So that's what I did. It's a good parallel to like high school dance, kind of. But I was doing that my whole life, and then um, it was like my sophomore year, I want to say, of high school. I decided like maybe I didn't really want to stay in Florida like after graduation. Maybe I like wanted to continue to dance because I've always had a passion for it. And I knew Ohio State very well. Like Ohio State, Minnesota, Tennessee, Texas Tech, like there's so many programs that are like those top programs that I've always, looked up to growing up. And I was like, you know what? I talked about it with my mom. I was like, maybe I should just like go to like a combine or something, which is like basically a recruiting event for dance team. Um, and she was like, I mean, I don't see why not. So I went to my first one my sophomore year. I met my assistant coach. His name is Pat. Um, and I was like, yeah, no, I want to go to Ohio State. Like from that moment forward, I knew I was like, I want to get recruited. I want to go. I want, this to be like where I end up. So I went through the recruitment process um, between like sophomore year, which I'm pretty sure that's when like COVID hit. So it was like
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you're
COVID
yeah, you're
recruitment
taller than
type.
Jake, yeah. So that would
Yeah.
make sense. Yeah.
hmm So like it was a lot of emailing back and forth, and like we would send videos, and
Mm.
yeah, it was a very interesting way of recruiting. But, staying in close contact with the coaches, keeping up with my training, talking to some girls that I had already known on the team. Um, and then my senior year, I remember it so clear. It was February 4th. I got asked to be on the team, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be a Buckeye. Like this is everything I've ever dreamed of. Um, and yeah, the rest is history, basically.
Love it. Yeah, Buckeyes they come there in all different ways. So let
Yeah.
me ask you this: Is it were you I because I don't really understand. I don't know how the process works.
Yeah.
when for football or like other sports, for example, they're getting the offers and then they get
Yes.
to decide where they go. For
Right.
dance, is it similar to like cheer team where like you're trying out and like you're gonna just find out if you make the team, or did you have physical offers from other schools to actually pick where you wanted to go?
Yeah, no, honestly, it's a very like it's a good parallel to any sort of recruiting, whether it's
Oh,
football, like
okay.
all the sports. The only difference is that like, you know, you're not necessarily like you don't have like a big pool of like coaches
Sure.
that you're being like recruited from because obviously dance team is very small. So I was like getting looked at by like the University of Tennessee, LSU, like programs like that. However, I know that like obviously again because of COVID, my recruiting process was a little different. So I would be in contact with other coaches. However, my main priority was Ohio State because that's
Got it.
like definitely where I wanted to go. But I feel like now, obviously post COVID and looking at the recruitment model the way it is now, it's like your coaches know where to go in order to find the dancers. So there's so many dance
Okay.
competitions. It's a lot of word of mouth. We have so many people on our team that have been like on TV shows or they've been in like amazing like projects. So we like obviously know who they are, and if they're interested in dance team, my coaches do an amazing job of like reaching out to them, seeing if they'd be potentially interested, coming in like to do tours and like maybe to spend time with the team. Yeah, it's a lot more hands-on. They really do get the full Buckeye experience, and they come to clinics and they go to games, and it's a whole all-inclusive package, and then from there they
Yeah.
get to decide where they want to go.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. It's yeah, it's very like football. It seems like they're pulling out the red carpet for you, just as if you're Jeremiah or
Oh,
Caleb. It doesn't really matter. So that's very cool. Um, Now you said you mentioned All Star Dance. That was the type of dance you did.
yes.
Did you do any like I don't know like the correct term I would say,
Right.
but did you do any like specialty dance? For example, I had a friend. She did Irish dancing. Like that was like not her main dance, like she did it on the side with her family. Did you have
Mhm.
anything like that, or like any side dancing that like just you like to do, maybe like in a club or in like a community, like non like all-star, non-school, like non-studio dance? Did you have anything like that? I just know some
No.
people who did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, a lot of it was just all-star. So we competed in pom and jazz, which is what I
Got it.
competed in at Ohio State. Um,
Right.
and it's very similar to what I do now. I just had like 10 dances or like 4 dances instead of
Sure.
just 2. So, yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch some dance moms back in my day. I know how I know those tournaments.
Um, as a senior, Danny, how has this experience been on the team?
Oh, I think it's been amazing. Looking back on my 4 years, I think that, everyone says college changes you. And this is like one of your biggest growing periods. And I think having this team, I am so different in the best way possible from where I started. And I think that this team has left me with so many tools to be successful in the future, whether it comes to like presenting myself, being on time. Like for practice, we have to be 20 minutes early, but it's not 20 minutes early. It's like you need to leave your house at 12 to make sure that you're like at the facility at 12:20, but in reality like we don't have practice until 1. You know what I mean? So it's just
Mm,
like making sure you're early to the early, or if it's like you need to make sure that, you have everything together and your schedule is going to be jam packed because you have a basketball game, a volleyball game, you have a clinic, you have a football game on Saturday, you might have an exam thrown in there. For me, it's like you
yeah,
have a
don't
night
forget
meeting.
student athletes. Student
Right. Yeah,
athletes.
no, you definitely have to put that student back in the athlete. So there's just like you're given so much, and obviously we are blessed to have so many like resources to help us manage our time, but like at the end of the day it's up to you to see how you can figure it out and still show up and be the best version of yourself inside and outside of practice.
Yeah, I would agree. I think especially you learn. I mean, I didn't play college athletics. I enjoyed them. I played club baseball and not D1 baseball.
It's okay.
But it's I mean, as a full on D1 athlete, you're learning skills that I think you think about when you head into college, but then you actually have to put it to the test.
Right.
Being on time. As a dancer, I would assume your stage presence, the way you carry yourself, has probably got even though you've done it your whole life, it's probably multiplied times 10. Just doing it at a higher level in college, you've probably learned a lot of things, and it's probably made you grow for the better. And you
Mhm.
may have had some tired days and some tired nights studying, or some tired days, but when you get to sprinkle in good experiences like that, I would assume that it gives you an opportunity to like look back from a wider lens and be like thankful for the
Yes.
opportunity.
Yes.
So very cool in my opinion. But to get into now what you do and kind of the last couple years, had a
Yeah.
couple questions for you. Last year, Jake and I and Joey, obviously not on this interview, but big Sinatra guys, I would say. Our grandpa loves it, so we've grown up listening to it our whole life, and Joey same way. Three Italian kids that love Sinatra. But last year, My Way was the song you guys used in your national
Hmm.
championship winning dance. Pretty interesting. I mean, I'll be like fully transparent. My ex girlfriend used to dance, so I went to a lot of dance things.
Yeah.
So I've seen how like, and not to say I'm a biggest character of judgment. I am not. I haven't watched that much dance, but I have definitely been able to tell who's good, who's bad. And I saw the video. I watched it again last night when we were prepping for the interview, and I saw the difference. And I've heard some things for you guys. What was that experience like? I know you're back-to-back national champs, so in my opinion, that would make me to assume your sophomore year you did not win.
Hmm.
And how was that getting set up? What was the vibes like inside the team, inside the locker room? Getting to that moment, finally hearing, and the champions are Ohio State. What was that whole journey like to get to that first one?
Yeah. Well, I think that, well, obviously, my freshman year, we actually won first in all three of the
Oh,
categories that we competed in.
oh,
So we
so three
competed
out of
in,
four.
yeah. So it was pom, jazz, and game day. And we won all three of those my freshman year, which is, I think it was the first time in UDA history that we were able to do that. And then obviously, my sophomore year, we did lose both. But I think
Wow.
it was like the best thing that could have happened to this team. And I'm not saying it in like, oh yeah, like you're overcoming adversity and like yada. I'm saying it because I think that this team, as the years go on, your culture changes. The people who you let onto this team changes. And I think that like you have to be able to really like use like the bottoms up mentality. And it's like, okay, your freshmen who are now sophomores just lost both titles. Your sophomores turned juniors, like we're on top, and now we're not on the bottom, but we didn't win, which I think in that transition we had to learn that winning wasn't everything, and that we had to redefine what a successful season truly meant to us. So when going into, we did My Way, it wasn't really about winning, to be honest. The winning was just like the cherry on top. We wanted to push the industry forward. We wanted to do something completely different. And we literally wanted to do it our way. And that's exactly what happened. And I think that well, at least for me personally, for the first time, I wasn't thinking that whole season, like, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. I was so proud of the products that we produced that it didn't matter. It didn't matter what we did. It didn't matter how, tired we were, because each day I came home and I was like, I'm so proud of what we have. Like, this
Right.
is amazing. And this is truly what we wanted to do from the beginning. So,
And you did it your way. You did it
yeah.
your way. And that, I think that, you know, that song has been used a million times, and obviously it's one of the best ones he has. But a song like that, to have that kind of meaning, and there's probably people that probably watch your dance and were like, "Oh wow, they did fantastic," and maybe they said it like, "Oh, they did it their way," like as jokingly to the song, and you guys had the ties, and you guys, you guys came back from adversity and didn't win the year before. Maybe they've just thought it was a good dance, when they, a championship winning dance, but to hear it from the backstory of, we're going to do it our way, one way or another, and we're going to go for it. And if not, we're going to die trying.
Yeah.
And to have mentality, I think it's important to have that level of mentality top to bottom within a locker room, because when you have a culture that's being built like that, it's very easy, in my opinion, to have one person, I not to say there is one obviously, but to have one person stray away from that culture and everything crumble.
Right.
And to be able to have a team that is stuck together like that, to fire that way, to get each other to get to that next goal, you can see it in dances like that, in games like that, stuff like that. It's very impressive. My thoughts, very impressive.
Thank you.
So that's very cool to hear. So you won. You did it your way. You won. You know, it's 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And usually, I would say, is when you are the champ. Obviously, today we're recording this on the day of the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
When you are the champ, when you have won a lot of people, I'm going to assume, don't start to like you. You're looked at as the villain. You're looked at as something you're going to nitpick. Today, Mahomes is playing. Everybody obviously is the refs. They don't like the Chiefs. The whole 9 yards. This year, you guys coming into nationals, from what I'm understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a video came out of you guys performing a dance that you would perform, which I guess is like not. I saw another video last night when I was looking at videos that it like kind of did it leaked or something, like it wasn't supposed to get out. Okay, that's what I thought. And basically, from what I heard, is that when you guys were dancing in your performance for the Moulin Rouge song, your turns were the kind of bit of, not controversy, I'd call it, but the topic of discussion.
Yeah.
They weren't hitting their turns. They weren't good. When that came out, what was the, I heard that came out not very close to when you guys were leaving.
Yes.
So when that did come out, how did you guys make that jump to get where you had to get? Did that get in your head? Did you guys laugh at it? Did you guys did it even bother you? How did you guys look at it? Like, F it, we're going to do it our way again. We're going to do it my way. Like, did you guys do it that way? How did you jump in to get prepared for the championship a couple weeks later?
I think we definitely took the approach of like control the controllables. We can't control what, like with social media, I mean,
sure,
we cannot control what anyone posts. And at the end of the day, like we have to just keep our eyes inside the circle. We say it all the time and just focus on the things that we can control. And we knew that wasn't our best run. Like, was it the optimal situation? Absolutely not. But I think at the end of the day, it didn't matter, because what mattered was we wanted to get better. We wanted to focus on, what was important to us, which was completing the routine, beginning to end, hitting our skills, and being confident in our performance. And I think that, after that happened, I mean, there was no other way to look at it except just to keep moving forward. Because at the end of the day, what happened. It was in the past, and it was not a defining moment, nor did it really have any like major effect on the inside of the circle.
Very interesting. I would agree. I would think you guys focus on yourself. You can like control the controllables. That was always what I was told too, playing. You can only control 2 things: your attitude and your effort. So can't control anything else.
What was the morale like after Saturday, heading into Sunday of nationals?
I think that after Saturday, which was semis, and going into finals, our biggest thing was just like 1% better in both routines, because we had already come off of, Friday, which wasn't obviously our best run in jazz, and going into Palm semis on Saturday in the morning. And, we really overcame our little obstacles and, performed to one of like the best times we'd ever done Palm. And, we did jazz and we were getting better. Like going into finals, it was truly just 1% better. We knew what we had to fix. And again, dance is a sport where you can do it perfect one time, and another time you might not do it as well. And that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's how do you learn and how do you grow and how you move on.
Right.
And going into finals, like each time we took the warm-up mat, it was like, okay, what is the one thing I'm going to focus on? Whether it's, okay, making sure I pull up my turns or making sure that I'm on my mark. Because if you can see on the floor, like we dance on a grid. So it's like making sure that I am in line, or that I am, if I'm supposed to travel 3 panels, making sure that I'm making it to that spot. And that's what I'm going to focus on for this run. And obviously being a senior, my main focus truly was just to have fun, because obviously being the last time that I'm ever going to take the UDA stage, I wanted to make sure that I was enjoying what I was doing. Um, and also wanting my team to be like right there with me and having fun. And I think that that's truly what we focused on was 1% better and having fun. So that's it.
Yeah, I think you have that. I think you have a great mentality. I think you have a great athlete's mentality of continuing to push forward and get better. Uh, when you were in that situation, you guys finally finish. You hit your turns. I mean, if anybody listening has not seen the video, I would highly, highly recommend. It is very impressive. You hit your turns. You're
Yeah.
done for the day,
Yeah.
and now you wait. Now you wait. Did I guess a two-part question. A, did you feel like after, as soon as it was over, like, ring me right now, like we're gonna win this thing? Like, did you feel it was a good enough run to ring yourself? And two, when they did announce it was Ohio State, what was the final feeling of emotion? Obviously, like you said, it's your last time taking a stage. You're about to a chance to go back to back. What was that final feeling of emotion?
Well, I feel like after that performance, to be clear, everyone in the category is amazing and you really never
Sure.
know like how anything is going to go. And I'm so grateful that we like are put in a position where we can compete against these amazing teams. Um, so after the performance, I mean, I really didn't know where anything was going to fall, and I really didn't care in the weirdest way.
Oh,
Like, I'm
okay.
very competitive. Don't get me wrong, but I was so proud of us that it didn't matter where it fell because we had truly grown and overcame so much in 3 days that I was like, you know what? We did exactly what we needed to do. And whatever happens, happens. But I am so proud of this team and all that we've accomplished that really it doesn't matter. And I'm okay with anything. Um, and then I feel, you know, obviously being announced and when you win, like it was amazing. But I think, again, it just went back to being grateful. I had so much gratitude for my team and I know how hard we've worked and like the hours that we've put in. Like we've been in Steelwood, which is where we practice, and we were also in Cavelli, and then we moved to the shot. Like we would have, so much that we juggled. So it was more of just like a reflecting moment and having so much gratitude for the people that have helped us along the way, for the team, and honestly, just like for the resilience that we showed.
No, after winning that national title, number one, what was that type of celebration like after with the trophy and everything? First part of the question. And number two, was it also like, oh my gosh, we just won, but we have to get on a plane and go to Georgia? Like, what was that feeling also kind of like?
So after we win, we usually just go to like our parents' house because they have like a little like party celebration for us. So it was definitely fun. And, we were all
Okay.
just like listening to music, just dancing and living it up. But we did have to turn in quite early because we had a 5 a.m. flight to catch. So it was definitely exciting and we celebrated, but we did have one more job to complete, which I don't think we've ever been able to do, which was win 2 national championships and then go to another one. So I was grateful, but I was ready. I was like, okay, we got to win one more. Like, we can do it. So it was exciting.
And then what was the treatment like when you guys got to Georgia, like after winning? Did they at least like obviously they had like they were everyone was focused on the football team, but like did they at least treat you guys pretty well when you got to Georgia?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Every time we travel, it's amazing. I mean, we are so lucky to be able to have these opportunities. And it was really cool because when we were on the field, um, we have like, we'd have like girls like taking like videos of us or like we would take pictures with people. A lot of the fans who, like have like those closer seats, like I guess I don't know if they saw on TikTok or something like that, but they were always congratulating us and it was really nice. And I think that we were just very lucky to be able to, have this opportunity and to be able to be recognized by people that we would never think would ever care about dance team in that way. So I think it was nice to realize that, this sport is growing while it's small. it's made a huge impact on a lot of people that we would never think in a million years what. So
That's awesome.
thanks.
Very cool. Yeah, I think private jet. Don't forget to flex it. Go ahead, flex it on a private
Oh
jet.
yeah.
Fly to the natty. Um,
Yeah.
but very cool. Now, looking at that time, you're done. Now like some couple different questions. Obviously,
Okay.
are there, in my opinion, obviously you said the schools when you're getting recruited, but uh, are there rivalries in college dance? Are you right? I mean, do you like go to a meet and you're like, oh, we got to beat Michigan like just as much as football wants to? Like how does that work? I know Minnesota is very good, so like a different. I would assume the rivals are different if there are, but is there
Mm-hmm.
beef? Is there any? I mean, like those Dance Mom shows. I don't know if they were just like for Hollywood, but they weren't always so nice to each other.
I definitely think that there is healthy competition. But to be
Okay,
honest, when it comes down to it, we all know each other. We've all like went through the recruitment process together. We have sisters who are on Ohio State and Minnesota. So like as normal human beings, like we all are very like we're all friends and like it's fine. It's really not that big of a deal. Obviously once it like comes to competition, you do want to win and you want to,
sure.
show up and show out. So I think that there's definitely a good sense of healthy competition. And I think that, you know, the dance industry is always changing. So it's not ever like, oh, like, I feel like there's always so much variety, and there's so many
Sure.
programs who have like shown up and shown out. Specifically, Michigan. I know, I'm not supposed to say the M word, but Michigan dance. Shout out to them. They are absolutely
Cut that.
incredible.
Cut that. No, just kidding.
No, they are. They are so incredible, and I'm so proud of them. Actually, they placed third in jazz, which was, I think,
Oh,
don't quote me, but it was like the best that their program has done. And I know a lot of the
Mm.
girls, they had come to clinics at Ohio State, or just like I've known them
sure.
through other people, and I mean they were the sweetest, and I am so 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 proud of them. Like it was amazing.
Well, I'm happy that you're happy to be proud for them. I will be proud for them. Third place, third place. Enjoy it. Third place, enjoy it.
Danny, what would you say your best moment as a dancer at Ohio State has been?
Oh my gosh, my best moment. I don't know. I think it was really that weekend was just like unforgettable. Truly. Like winning a national championship on Friday, winning a national championship on Sunday, turning around, going to Atlanta, winning a national championship on Monday, and then coming home and being like, what just happened? Like
For
that,
sure.
I mean, I got to do everything that I love in the span of literally 4 days, which was competing with my team and dancing on the sidelines, which I literally, if anyone asks, is my favorite part of any season. So yeah, I think that whole
Oh,
weekend, if I could just sum it up, it's like my favorite.
Now, another thing I gotta ask, because bringing up the national championships,
Yeah.
obviously, number one, what is the dance ring gonna look like? What's the design you guys are putting
oh,
together?
Oh,
good
And number
question.
two, would be, are they offering you guys a football championship ring? And if so, are you gonna buy one?
okay.
Oh,
So I can't really tell you what our ring looks like. You're just gonna have to wait and see. But I will say
Okay.
that we got to design it last week, and it is
Oh, very nice.
one of my
okay.
favorites that I have. So I'm really, really, really excited. And I have absolutely no idea about the football ring. I would love to have one. I mean, that like to be I don't even know. That is probably insane. But regardless, I'm just grateful to have had the experience and to be able to cheer them on. So I'm good with anything.
Okay, cool. I guess we'll have to wait and see what that ring looks like.
Oh yeah.
The ring's cool. I didn't know you could design them in college. I thought that was only a pro
Yes.
thing. So very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so now um, games are over, championships are over. Um, you know, we're at this point. I say two questions now. At this point in time of that story, first question: did you go to class on Tuesday?
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, look at that,
Mhm.
professor. Student athlete.
Oh,
Student
yeah.
athlete.
We put the student
Um,
right back into athlete. Yes.
yeah, look at you. And now, so now that you're see, is the season? I would assume the season's not like over,
Mm-mm.
because you still have like some sports to go to.
Yeah.
But when do you like officially end? You're like, because I just like, for example, like I know Brutus, or we knew a kid who was Brutus, and that's like similar dance team,
Mhm.
and he was done around March, April.
Mhm.
Like that was when they would transfer over at the spring game. So like, where
Mhm.
does your cutoff of like not having to get up at 5 a.m. for practice anymore end at?
Oh, yeah. So the seniors are done after spring break / after basketball travel. So it depends on how far
Okay,
we go with that. So we will continue to
sure.
practice with the team, and literally like as if nothing has changed until we're done with all those travels. And then once we're done with that, we are home free to just finish out college and graduate and start the real world.
It's not all as glamorous as you think. I would highly recommend the fifth year if you have credits.
Oh, awesome.
uh, so now graduating
Yeah.
pharmaceutical science, right? That's what it is.
So that's my minor. My major is actually
Minor.
economics. Yes.
Oh, economics. Okay, so
Mhm.
Mm.
what are
I
the
blame the
goals?
Ohio State roster website. It said pharmaceutical
Yeah, okay,
Oh,
science.
or
you're
yeah,
totally fine. It's
blaming
not
them,
really
blaming them.
updated right now, I don't think. So don't
Um,
worry about it.
but okay, so graduating in May. Uh, what do you plan on doing after graduation? Or yeah, after graduation, and do you still plan to pursue dance in some way, or are you going to be transitioning into the pure bar part of your life? I don't know where you land on the dance.
So I definitely think after college, I'm gonna take a year off of dance.
Okay,
I think that it's important for me to find myself and who I am without being on a schedule
sure,
24/7. After doing it for pretty sure I'm going on 18 years of my life.
right.
I think it might be time to just like take a second. I don't know where I want to move. I think I'm going to move either back to Florida, maybe try DC. We'll see for a year. Just to, explore and see what's all is out there. And then after that, when it comes to dance, I would love to continue to dance. Some type of pro, maybe NFL, maybe NBA. I don't know. You can ask me a year from now and I might say no. I don't
Sure,
know. We'll
sure.
see. But truly I'm just kind of like letting life happen and see where the opportunities present themselves.
Hey, that roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Don't tie yourself to anything. If you want to dance longer, go dance longer. It's not a
Yep.
big deal. No one, no, it's. I think that's been, at least for me, part of our reflection back. I've been out of school for a little over 2 years now. I work in accounting. It's a great job. I'm
Mhm.
about to log on right after we finish this interview because I have to do stuff for work.
Yeah.
But it's I was never rushing to be an adult. I would
Mhm.
say no one's ever rushing to do that, but you see, you're gonna miss getting up at 5 and
Mhm.
going to the studio. Is getting up and showering and going to the office. You're gonna miss um, staying up till 11:30 at practice and then rolling down High Street and grabbing uh I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a late nights, but you're then hitting outer in. You're gonna
Yeah.
miss those kind of things. Especially myself, I miss it. And Jake, lucky guy, gets 2 more years. Um, but those are the kind of things where you look back and you're gonna be grateful. You're gonna be grateful for a lot of time and to have the rings with you and to have the experiences with you and to see the football with you and all that kind of stuff is gonna be stories to look back on for years.
Yeah. No. I'm excited and grateful to be able to, have like left my hometown literally
Yeah.
800 miles away and experience what life is like on a different part of the world. And I think that it
Yes.
was definitely for the better. And I'm excited to be able to, take what I've learned from here and apply it to the rest of my life.
I know Jake has some questions, but I have one more because
Okay.
I agree with you when I say this. But Jake and I from California, Joey from Chicago. Do you believe that going out of state doing something like this was like the best thing that could have happened to you?
100%.
Learning about something else, living in a different place. I agree.
100%. I
I'm
think
pro.
that,
I'm always pro moving out of your
yes.
state.
Yeah. If you can, and if the opportunities present itself, if the cards fall where they fall and you have that, I think that you should 100% take it, because you truly don't know how other people can influence your life in such a positive way. And there's so many opportunities that I would have never had, like working for You Move and Nike, if I hadn't like taken a chance on myself and allowed people to take a chance on me.
Awesome. And we're not saying that, us three especially are not saying that from Arizona or like North Dakota. Like, we're from California and Florida, like some pretty
Right.
poppin' states. So not like we're from like random areas. So
Yeah.
okay, very cool. Very cool.
If you could pick one moment outside of dance at Ohio State, what would you say your favorite college memory has been?
Oh my gosh. Favorite college memory? Well, I'm with my dance friends all the time because we all live together. But um I think it's just like, I don't even know. I think I could have two. One would be just like living with everyone. We all live maybe like a door away from each other. My class is lucky that we all live in the same house. So, I mean, the late nights, like just sitting on our couch and just, we end up on like the craziest conversation topics. And it was like, we all said we were going to go to bed at 9. It's now 4 a.m. and we're still talking. Like, I mean, those are just things that I absolutely love and will cherish forever. And I also think being at Nike and working, for Dante, and I really have created such an amazing community and family within that space. And I found something that I am so passionate about. Like, it doesn't even feel like work. It feels like I get to go into the office, hang out with like literally like the most amazing people and just create something so special, and then to be able to produce it to other people and allowing them to kind of get a sneak peek into my life and what I get to do on a daily basis is absolutely priceless. Like, I love it.
I think those are two really good ones for sure. Another question that I have for you: what would be a piece of advice that you have for someone who wants to dance in college?
I think my biggest thing is learn your programs, learn their values, learn what they're all about, how they operate, and see if they align with your values and what you want. Because, I mean, everyone can say that they want to go to this place or that place, but until you really, really submerge yourself into the culture of the team, you won't know truly where you should be until you do that. And I think that, with social media and all that stuff, like everything is super glamorized and they're like, oh my gosh, like they get this, they get that, they get to do this, they get to do that. But you also have to understand that with every team comes a different journey. And I mean, I love where I'm at, and I'm so grateful that I, chose where I am. But Ohio State isn't for everyone, and that's okay. And I think that there are so many amazing programs that will offer you a very similar experience. And like, it's okay. It's okay. There is nothing that will ever like change that. And I think it's just, what do you want out of college? And if you want to like work and grind and like have a million things on your plate, Ohio State's a great place for you. But if you want to be able to like dance on the sidelines and you want to be able to, have like life outside of dance a little bit more and like to be a little bit more free, maybe this isn't the right fit. So just like being able to understand what you value, what you want, and what culture and values that prioritize, I think that that is crucial number one.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nose of how different programs are, how you are. You gave a very great overview, I thought, of like, battling with adversity, being with the team. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. One, it's not. No collegiate sport is. And, I think a lot of people, like you said, I think you said it right there at the end that really made it stick out was the social media part of it.
Mhm.
They see the Ohio State dance team winning, and they see the celebratory thing, and they see the private jet, and they see you guys going to the Natty the next day. And, I want to be a part of that. That looks so fun. But what they didn't see were all the late nights, all the
Right.
tears, all the yelling, all the problems, the every bad thing that could happen in a team. Like that's what builds in my opinion, that's what builds championship teams that battle through little problems, little hiccups, little pieces of adversity. Like that's what builds. It's how you respond to that.
Right.
That is why teams win championship. Not because they're better dancers, not because they're the coolest or the flashiest. Like to me, yeah, that helps, but it's never going to be the reason I think you win. So I really liked hearing that about the Instagram and social media, because I believe that as well. It's social media lies, like social media
Mhm.
life. You see something, you're like, oh man, I want that life. But you didn't see that. Maybe they're in credit card debt or they're working their ass off to get to somewhere else. Like I very much agree with that, but very cool. Last thing, ask it because we're in the spirit of it. We're filming this on the day of the Super Bowl. Who do you think? We're going to talk about that obviously in the episode as well. So we'll have your prediction. Who do you think's going to win? And I don't know. And what's your funny? Are you expecting a funny commercial? What's your take for the game? If you have one take for the game.
Okay, so to be honest, I didn't follow these
Okay.
two teams very closely. The only reason I
Okay.
That's
didn't,
okay.
That's okay.
I know that those teams are absolutely amazing. And when the cards fell the way they did, I was like, regardless, this is going to be an amazing game. So while I am wearing green, I don't know very much about the Eagles,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I think that regardless, it'll be a very good game. And whoever wins, I'm going to be happy about it. So I'm a little neutral. A little neutral.
Okay, neutral. No pick.
Mhm.
And then, are you, are you ready? Are you excited for Kendrick, or are you excited for a certain commercial, or are you a Taylor Swift fan? Like, do you think are you hoping to show her 15,000 times? Like, what is your view on the game?
Well, I love a good halftime show. That
Okay,
is something that I truly do love. So I
I'm
am excited
excited.
for
I'm
that.
excited.
I mean, listen, I love music. I think that it's going to be amazing. So that is truly what I'm excited about. I do love the commercials too. They're always so funny. And they're just
Okay.
even at in the heat of the game, and then one funny one pops up.
Yeah. Right.
I'm excited.
Right.
I'm excited
Right.
for it. Yeah.
I saw something that said that because there's always funny prop bets in the game. I don't know
Mhm.
if you're familiar with that, but there's heads or tails, what color the Gatorade's gonna be. But I
Right.
saw one that was plus 3,500. So bet 100 win 3,500 bucks for special guests. Kendrick's
Mhm.
gonna bring out, and it was highest odds. He's gonna bring out Drake. So what if?
Let's
What if
see.
he brought out Drake?
I
Imagine.
mean, that would be amazing. That would truly be amazing. But
What
we'll
a
see. We'll
publicity
see.
stunt that would have been. What a publicity stunt that would have been.
One other Super Bowl question I have for you. This is definitely not related towards the game, but what is your go-to Super Bowl food that you like to have on
Oh,
Super Bowl
yes.
Sunday?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So I'm a frequenter of Town Hall. So a truffle fry will get me every time.
Okay.
That is truly
Okay.
my
Okay.
Super Bowl food, to be honest. If we're really talking, I could go wings. I really do. I could sprinkle in a little wings in there.
Okay.
But wings and truffle fries, that's it. That's for me.
Are you bone or bone in? Boneless or bone? Wings.
No bone. No
Boneless.
bone.
Boneless. Okay.
Roosters? Have you been to Roosters?
Oh, I've been to Roosters before. Those
Okay.
boneless
Nice.
wings.
That's our
Okay,
spot.
cool.
Yeah, that's our spot.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's a good one.
So good.
Um, well, Danielle, very happy you could join us. Very good conversation. Really enjoyed hearing from you. And I'd say one of my favorite interviews we've done. I really enjoyed it a lot. So glad you could come on. I'm glad you and Jake are working hard for Nike. Feel free to boss him around. It seems like you're the vet on that, so give you that approval to boss him around. But enjoy these last 3 months. It's okay. I don't know if you're like still on like a strict schedule from your coaches to go to class. Don't go to class one day. Enjoy the time. Have fun. Wish you the best of luck. And hope everything works out, whether it's dance, whether it's economics, whether it's life. Keep working hard. Yeah, my opinion on it is you have a great attitude, you have great experiences that are gonna push you further ahead in life.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. This was really fun. I liked it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Glad you could come
it's
on.
fun. God, yeah, it's a fun little thing on the side. We like doing it. We like having people on. We like hearing people's stories. We love having Buckeyes on. So it's a whole good setup. So thank you for coming on. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Jake and I now going to kick it to clutch moment of the week and then outside the line. That was a great interview with Danielle, and now it is time for Clutch Moment of the Week, brought to you by Shore Metals. Big enough to serve you and small enough to know you. See Stan, he'll help you out. Jake, who's your Clutch Moment of the Week?
My clutch moment of the week goes out to GM of the Golden State Warriors, Mike Dunleavy Jr., for staying persistent on wanting an all-star player before the trade deadline and getting Jimmy Butler. And him and Steph combined for 59 last night against the Bulls, so suck it, Joey. And so Mike Dunleavy Jr., clutch moment of the week. Michael, who's your clutch moment of the week?
Mike Dunleavy, he was adamant, almost brought KD back. Looked like he was just going to strike out. He brought Jimmy Butler in. We'll see how that works. I foresee Jimmy and Draymond not getting along too well as the rest of the season continues, but should be interesting. My clutch moment of the week goes out to a good buddy of mine, Joe Juza. He's a big OSU merch guy. We obviously won. I'm rocking this hat. Finally got some gear that was brought to me back from Columbus, my mom. But he ended up sniping one of these for me. I paid him. Finally got one. I was on the market for it. I couldn't get one, but Clutch Moment sent me the Media Day Tech jacket from the Natty. So very cool. He sent me that. He was on top of it and got us some a couple weeks ago. Finally sent it to me. So Clutch Moment of the Week, Joe Juza. So shout out Joe Juza, Mike Dunleavy. Clutch moment of the week. Now to outside the line.
Finishing up with outside the lines, we're going to start with everybody's favorite tone deaf person of the week. Michael, who's your tone deaf person of the week?
Tone deaf person of the week, I think might be myself. Unfortunately, I've been having to work a lot lately, and tone deaf is the accounting world not stopping for the Super Bowl. So I'm going to be working after this. We're recording this on Sunday. I know you guys are going to do the first half of the episode after the game tomorrow. But yeah, tone deaf is me. Working a lot lately, not really sleeping as much, and it's about to be 10 o'clock on the West Coast, and I got about 5 hours till kickoff. So hopefully I can get some work done in the next 5 hours. So tone deaf is me. A lot of long hours and not taking care of my body and not working out. So tone deaf. Me.
That's brutal. I can't help you with that one. My tone deaf person of the week is actually two people, both in the Seattle Seahawks organization. It's going to be John Schneider and Mike McDonald. They're both tone deaf person of the week because they're not looking ahead towards the future enough. They're too stuck on Geno. I just read before we started recording that in this offseason, there's going to be a Geno extension coming our way.
Oh,
Possibly.
I thought I saw Will Howard maybe getting drafted there. I saw earlier today.
I did see that too, but I think it would be a kind of like an apprenticeship type thing where Will would sit behind Geno. So tone deaf person of the week is Seattle Seahawks organization not thinking for a younger player.
What do you think they're going to do in the first round?
Offensive line or receiver.
Oh, all right. Very cool. Maybe a Mecca. Just build the Buckeyes. We'll just build Ohio State there. You can get him, get Travion.
We'll do wide receiver you.
Yeah.
In Seattle.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Those are good tone deafs, I would say. But now wrapping up, wrong side, right side, what do you got?
I'm going to start wrong side. I mean, it's going to tag along to that same thing as Geno possibly getting an extension. I personally think that, yes, we went 10-7, but he's not the guy who's going to win me a Super Bowl. because he's getting older. He makes clumsy throws. If I'm gonna get a quarterback that's a young guy, I saw a couple tweets this week of possibly Jackson Dart in the third round or Will
Interesting.
Howard in the fourth round. So I'd be totally okay with that. That'd be an automatic jersey buy if it's a Will Howard. So yeah, that's my wrong side. Right side though, shout out Barstool Sports. Dozen Trivia is back.
Yes.
Dozen Trivia is
Good
back.
right side.
We got a nice New Orleans 3 matches last week. That gave me some excitement on my Tuesday. That was really all I was looking forward to this week. So yeah, shout out Barstool for Dozen Trivia coming back, and can't wait for the rest of the season.
Yeah, when is it starting up? Do you know?
I think they're starting up possibly this week, if not next week.
Okay, so pretty soon. So hopefully flee back. So yeah, very cool. I did watch those as well. Very entertaining. I like watching them. Very fun. The Dozen is great. Dozen's great. Jeff Lowe, great host. For me, right side, wrong side. I have 2 wrong sides and 2 right side. Wrong side is the Mark Williams trade falling through. Disaster in my opinion, disaster by Charlotte. Did you see that? Obviously we're texting about it.
I didn't.
But
I saw
really,
it last night.
Really brutal. I guess Charlotte kind of withheld some information. On the information, he failed his physical. Not good for the Lakers, in my opinion. They lost out on a great center. It's going to be A, awkward bringing DK and Cam Reddish back. B, it's going to be even more uncomfortable because now they're back, but now they don't have a center. They are going into the playoffs without a center. Big trouble, I think.
I think big trouble, yes, on that. And I also saw a tweet that kind of made me laugh. And it was Lakers, let's pour one out for these Laker guys who didn't actually get to play for the Lakers. And it was a CP3 in the Laker jersey and Mark Williams also in a Laker jersey.
Yeah.
So
only us, only the Lakers. We have it so tough. I know they're tough. It's the toughest organization to root for. We have it so tough. Along with that, my other real wrong side is Sheen, DHgate, and Timu. DHgate we frequented often from jerseys. Get those jerseys in. Get those orders in. We don't know when these tariffs are going to be official with Trump. Get them in. You want a new jersey? Hopefully nobody bought the Mark Williams jersey because he's going back, but you want a Luka jersey? Get it on DHgate. Get that all set up. So that's my tone. That's my wrong side is cheap jerseys going away.
For sure.
What about you? You feel that one? I feel like you would feel that one as well. That's a good run.
I feel that one as well. I don't know who Seattle's going to draft in that first round or maybe the first 3 rounds. So I was planning on possibly getting a new jersey. Also, I think if I'm going to do it, I got to do it now. I got to get a new Ohio State jersey if I want
I think
the
so.
championship patch.
Yeah,
or anything
I think
like
so
that.
as well. I think so as well because I need one as well. On my right side, Lakers beat the Warriors, so suck it, Jake. So best team of the week. And OSU merch, I have my hat on. I said it last week. It was coming in. It is in. Got all my stuff. It was a real positive on a long week of work. So very cool. Had my gear on. Champion. We talked to another champion today. But yeah, gear came in.
I've yet to buy any other gear. I got the "We Told You So" shirt. That's the only shirt that I've gotten.
That came in. It's at home.
I might get the black and gold national championship hat from where I'm from because I like that design and the frame.
Oh, where I'm from? Okay.
But other than that, I'm kind of withholding on a lot of gear because I don't need more clothes after Nike last week.
Got it. Yeah, I needed some. I was dire need of new Ohio State gear. I don't think I had bought some in a couple years, so needed a lot of it. Got some hats, got some shirts. I'll definitely get a new jersey though as well for the next couple seasons. So should be fun. Next week for you guys, we don't know who we're interviewing yet, if we're going to have one, but should be a great episode. Probably some new topics. Now the football is over. We're going to get into that, whether it's Joey and I, Jake and Joey, me and Jake, doesn't matter who. Should be a great episode. In a couple weeks, we have an interview set up, but trying to fill some time with some other interviews till then, and potentially reach out for more people. So if you guys have someone you want us to interview, have something you have any to talk about, some takes, let us know. We'll love to talk about them. Maybe we do part of our next episode. We do kind of a pardon your take where we ask on Instagram for takes or interests, that kind of stuff. And you guys can give us your opinions, your take on something, and we'll summon them and we'll read them out in an episode. And maybe we can do that. So really appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you guys coming. Thank you for listening. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. Have a great day, and hope you guys enjoyed the episode.
Stay blessed.